you turn away from it. You should use it to learn. Correct. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Like, it'll get to a point and I was just mentioning there before about changing, the name of Blacktown or Blackpool or something like that, right? What are they going to do? You're going to have some outspoken social media person that's massive influencer, so to speak, right, on YouTube going, you can no longer call it Liverpool because I suffered cancer of the liver, and that's offensive to me.
Exactly.
Just think about that for a second.
When will it end?
Some idiot is going to come out and do that. Like,
well, how about our hometown? Now, everyone knows where we live. We live in the home of motorsport in Australia, Bathurst.
All right,
starts with the letters B-A-T. Are we going to have to get rid of that and just call it Hurst because, bats carried the coronavirus?
Or, actually, can I tell you something? Yesterday, I was actually walking down the main street of our town that we love, my beloved town. Love it. I was walking in front of a reputable footwear store, which is all over the world, has something to do with athletes and their feet. Mm-hmm. Guess what was laying out the front of the actual store on the footpath?
What?
A hypodermic needle.
Ooh.
And my fiance goes, look out, don't step on it, which I was oblivious to because I didn't see it. Wearing me Uggs. At least it was capped. What the
Yeah, it's not cool.
What the... Do people think it's funny? I'm going to go buy a whole bunch of these and just drop them somewhere. Needles. Now, it could have been some careless diabetic. Odds on, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Odds on,
it was some iced up junkie that was being a twat.
I could not believe
on
it.
The main street.
On the main street.
And like in the footpath. That's fucked
on
up.
the footpath.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm in my Uggs.
Oh, at least it wasn't the height of summer and you're in your thong.
Just go to the bumper.
This is The Burble with Benny and Az.
I'm going to wrap up this podcast with another bullshit dumbass story. Now, with all that's going on in the world, as the bastions of knowledge all around the world, and like when you speak to these people, they have the answer all the time. Now, I'm not talking about academics. I'm not even talking about taxi drivers who purport to have the answers all the time. I'm talking about prostitutes.
Oh, yeah. They see a wide selection of society, don't they?
Correct. Prostitutes have the answers. You run into a prostitute, don't judge her for her job or him or
them
or the attack chopper that they are.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. You make sure that you sit down, buy them a cup of coffee and explore the amount of knowledge that the average prostitute has, and they will tell you they can solve all the world's problems. For example, in Switzerland, sex workers have devised some inventive ways for their colleagues to service clients sans spreading the coronavirus.
Oh, excellent.
And they reckon...
Safe sex.
Yep. They reckon by doing the deed doggy style and reverse cowgirl will make sure that you don't catch said coronavirus.
Would certainly help.
Now, these courtesans have drafted the guidelines in the hope that Switzerland will lift the temporary ban on sex work, which has been put in there over about 2 or 3 months. Now,
that's got to your income.
Before aforementioned sexual positions allow for a safe distance between faces during the said hanky-pank, according to a sex worker advocacy group, which is called Procore, where sex work
catchy name
is legal. They claim that flesh peddlers can reduce the likelihood of contracting or transmitting the virus via water droplets that are inherent in going at it in missionary-style positions, face-to-face.
What about droplets of other substances?
True. In March, New York officials released guidelines for pandemic sex. Now, you didn't read about this, did you?
Was that on Pornhub? Didn't we see that? We looked at that, didn't we?
They declared that masturbation is the safest way to avoid the coronavirus and denouncing sex acts like rim jobs. This came from New York officials.
You never go ass to mouth.
You never go ass to mouth. Now, Healthline cautioned against hooking up with strangers in a recent article on the act of making love in the time of corona. Now, currently, as they're saying that there's no evidence that having sex in the doggy style or reverse cowgirl positions can mitigate the risk of contracting COVID, which can travel as far as 4 meters. Now, I don't know how well endowed you are, but 4 meters for me, that's a joke. Sorry.
It's a long way.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, if you've been to Coles or Woolies lately, if you think about those two dots that are on the ground, that you've got to be...
You got to stand on before you get served.
You've got to stand on the dot and then enter her who's on another dot.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, really, is it?
Other proposed COVID...
Why don't they just wear masks like everyone else?
Wait, let me finish. Other proposed COVID avoiding measures, including airing out rooms for at least 15 minutes after each steamy session, washing bed sheets at a temperature of at least 60 degrees, and requiring sex workers to wear face masks while working.
Mm-hmm. Hard to give though.
Now, if that wasn't kinky enough, hookups are limited to 15 minutes. So there you go. Rates are dropping because I thought it was like an hourly rate or at least a half hourly rate. Now you're paying for 15 minutes. It's almost like you walk up to the local rub and tug and get it on tick.
Actually, you just reminded me of something. Now, I have a friend who works for the state government, and she's currently doing some work in a state-sponsored COVID-19 hotline.
Right.
And they field questions from the public, and on her Facebook the other day, God bless her, I won't say her name, you know who you are, she actually put a post up going, I can't wait until the restrictions are lifted because I'm sick of people asking me when R&T's open again.
R&T being?
Rub and tug.
Rub and tugs.
So, you know, down at Ultimo, basically every other door that you walk past the ABC towards the Powerhouse Museum is a rub and tug.
Wow.
Didn't you know that?
No.
Yeah.
Is that part of the ABC pay package or...
Well,
does the federal government who funds it, it's like 13.5 cents
well,
a day.
No, you don't. You don't need to go to the rub and tug because the government's the ABC every day anyway.
And the government's
exactly,
so to speak.
But yeah, so she's over people asking when the massage parlours will be open again.
Well, you know what? Swiss skin merchants aren't the only ones that are struggling to stay afloat during lockdown. Adult content creators claim that they're getting booted from subscription platforms OnlyFans as the site goes more mainstream.
Oh.
They're getting done over there.
OnlyFans, I've never heard of that.
I have something to tell you to wrap up this podcast too. Meanwhile, non-essential business closures have forced one American sex worker to offer her services as a virtual girlfriend in exchange for groceries and Amazon gift cards.
Me.
She would. Now, to finish off this in terms of sex work, Renee Gracie, who was part of the Super 2 series, Supercars.
Oh, yes, I saw this.
She's now stopped steering around circuits and she's now... she makes $25,000 a week.
I know.
Yeah.
Those airbags that she had definitely didn't deploy while she was in the Supercars series.
She's now
They're new. They're upgrades.
She now knows exactly $25,000 a week. She's making $50,000 every fortnight.
Yep.
Camming on OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing everything. They say, hey,
have sex with the thong.
Have sex with a thong.
Bam.
And she does it. She's making money.
After you pay her.
Yeah, after you pay her.
Yeah.
People are doing
Good for her. She was a shit driver, so, you know, she had to find a new career.
Well, she
binned that Volvo, didn't it? Was it a Volvo or a Nissan?
No, I think it was a Nissan.
She binned
Harvey
it.
Norman.
She binned it. I'm not saying she's a shit driver because she's a girl. I'm saying she's a shit driver because she binned the car.
No, she had capability. She was a good race driver.
Well, she was with Simone and Leanne Tender.
No, I don't know if she raced with Leanne.
It was a three-girl team.
Can you stop mentioning names so I can be offensive, please?
All right, go.
Thank you. All right, so now she's basically sliding up and down on every single thing she could find in the house. That's all she does all day long. Now, would you, if she had a boyfriend and stuff like that, he's like going, well, I'm off to work. I'm going to install like he works for an air conditioning company somewhere on the Gold Coast, right?
Right.
And she's humping a bedpost to come home and go, how was your day? Do you know what I mean? Like, she'd totally have to be single, right?
I don't know.
Is porn that mainstream now that anyone could do it?
Well, a lot of major porn stars are married, and their partners are usually porn stars on the other side of the gender fence, or not, depending on who they are. But I guess, I don't know, like, you just go with it, I guess. I don't know. Like, I'd rather the misso rooting bedposts than other blokes. Seriously, because she's making $25,000 a week.
A week.
I don't need to work.
But
that's me and my PlayStation are getting to know each other real well.
How finite is it going to be, though, for her?
Look,
how long does her career in porn last?
A few years.
So what? She got a maximum of 5 years before you go, yeah.
You get too old. People are going to get bored with the same old bedpost. You know, like they're just going to go, seen it before. Let's move on.
Like, couldn't you just put those cucumbers on a sandwich or something?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and more power to it. Get the coin girl while you've got the titties to do it.
Yeah.
And like, be smart with your money. Don't spend it all on hookers and coke.
Well, Supercars have distanced themselves from her. They're going, well, if you're going to go and yourself, then go yourself. Like, I don't know if that's...
She's making more money than Supercars right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did I say that?
Completely.
Did I say that? Yes, I did.
She's on OnlyFans, by the way. We've got a subscription.
Yep.
This is The Burble with Benny and Az.
Theburble.com.au is where you can find every single podcast that we've done. Now, I do apologise because there was another podcast, Az, that we have since recorded, which we haven't put out yet. So we might put it out as
It was a flashback episode.
No, it wasn't a flashback episode. It was the fiancé and another guest of ours that were in here, and it was just mainly me driving the conversation because no one had really anything witty to say.
Oh,
We might
unlike when I get in here.
No, but you have an opinion.
Yes, I do.
Two females here afraid of the electric stick. Not like Renee Gracie.
I was gonna say.
He's not afraid of that.
You
Or
me to it.
thongs. She's wearing thongs as well.
Now, for our international listeners, when we say thongs, we do not mean that small piece of spiderweb that girls wear around their cooch.
Up the perineum.
Up the perineum. That's a G-string.
Yeah,
Okay. If we want to refer to those lacy little panties that like do the butt floss, that's a G-string.
Yeah.
Thongs are the sandals that you put on your foot.
That's right.
If you're from New Zealand, they're called jandals. Anywhere else in the world, you are wrong, but they are
Flip-flops.
called flip-flops. Yes.
Yeah, no, they're called thongs, dumbass.
Thongs.
Theburble.com.au. Find us on Apple iTunes as well. Hit the subscribe button so you get every single episode of The Burble. I know I do apologise. We have been very sporadic with our episodes. Usually they are every week dropping on a Saturday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. However, though, coronavirus, as being crook on the hobble, can't be helped, but we're trying our best.
Yes.
So we do appreciate that. We're also on Spotify as well. You can get us on YouTube.
Yeah, 15-minute intervals.
Episodes.
So like every one of them, and that's 4 likes per episode.
It is 4 likes. iHeartRadio, Castbox, Deezer, a whole bunch of different ones. Hopefully we'll be back next week. Are you feeling up to it?
We should be, yeah.
All right, so we'll get a carton of beer, some J burners. No J burners. Because let's face it, like we could be on the chopping block. If they're going to drop things from Netflix and HBO Max and all that kind of thing, we could be done.
We could be next.
We could be next.
Apple could go on a cleansing. Or maybe that's the wrong word to say. Apple could like clean up its act, I guess. You can't really say cleansing.
Clean up our act.
Clean up our act.
We could clean up our own act.
No, we couldn't.
But we don't give a
No.
So vast difference. There's a vast difference between me and you. See you next week.
See ya.
Hopefully.
Is it over yet?
The answer is yes.
Oh, thank God for that. Hit us up on the socials and check us out at theburble.com.au. And don't forget to subscribe and share us with all your mates.
Thank you for sharing.
And here's the good news. They're back next week. Really? That's good news?
It's great news.
Here's the taste.